This comes back to the issue of the protection of witnesses. So when sessions are closed to the public, this is done in order to protect witnesses and victims. But it's important to emphasize that the judges take this decision on a case-by-case basis. There isn't just a general decision taken to close things, but the judges have to look at each witness and each testimony on its own merits to determine whether or not some information or testimony needs to be held in private. And when sessions are private or closed, redacted transcripts are made public as soon as possible. So sometimes information which isn't public at one stage of the proceedings becomes public later. In the Hashim Thachi and co-accused trial, the judges issued an oral order last November designed to ensure greater publicity of the proceedings. So for example, as I mentioned, for sessions that were conducted in private, the parties are ordered to review the transcripts by specific deadlines with the aim of making as much of that information public later. And since that order was issued in November of 2023, we've seen 10 witnesses testifying in the trial without protective measures, with their identities known and most of their testimony public. There was an additional witness whose identity was not revealed, but who testified publicly. 12 other witnesses have testified in closed session since last November, but some of their testimonies also take place in public. So what we can see here is that the judges in the trial really are committed to holding as much of the proceedings public as possible, but they also need to carefully balance the public nature of the proceedings with the safety and security of the witnesses who've come to testify. We shouldn't forget about the contribution that the witnesses are making to establishing the truth, and therefore their contribution to justice. It can take a lot of courage for someone to come forward and tell their story, particularly if they've suffered harm in the past. And so protecting interests is a foremost concern of the specialist chambers, as is making as much of the trials public as possible.